Well, the title might seem a bit peculiar, but sentiment is something very strong in the cinema industry, an industry in which success and hits are not the commonest things. So you have all kinds of patterns, anything you can imagine, any kind of superstition you can imagine, releasing movies on Thursdays, or hero must come in a certain way during the introduction scene, certain playback singer must sing the intro song, and thousands of superstitious beliefs. So we are not too wrong to study it from this particular angle. Well, the news was widely spread that once the announcement came on the Sundar C Rajini Kamal combination, that Lokesh Kanagaraj unfollowed both Kamal Hassan and Rajinikanth in social media. Okay, so we do not know how angry or upset Lokesh must have been, because probably he mooted this concept of Rajini and Kamal coming together. He probably had a strong script of them confronting each other, and sincerely believed that it would create a blockbuster in the industry, and so and well as bring up his name. Probably this was his thought. He worked for a long time on it. So when that project was snatched away from him suddenly, of course his heart would have burnt, or as Tamils like to say, stomach burn, right? So that negative feeling, right? To what extent that intentionally or unintentionally affected the project is a thought. So these kind of things are complex actually, because even if we see Rajini and Kamal's relationship itself is a very very complex one, because there's so much love hate, especially from Kamal's side, because for his psyche he was deemed to be the, how to say, the expected superstar of Tamil cinema, because he has been positioned in such a way. He was good looking, he has learned dance, he was an assistant dance master, he has acted from childhood, and just as he was about to begin his trajectory, suddenly comes this dark skinned gentleman with floppy hair and unkept look, who starts out as a villain or as a small side role to him, and then suddenly God decides to sort of make him zoom ahead of Kamal, who by all logically or left brain wise, right, Kamal did all the right things, right, in terms of quality of acting, script, everything, looks and so on. And yet consistently it was Rajini who had all kind of peculiarities, who how to say, out run him, or achieve the bigger box office. So although Kamal appreciates naturally, right, Rajini's love towards him, and all those things, and the fact that they've acted together many times, but Kamal always has occasionally spewed, how to say, critical words or negative points when it comes to Rajini, and many people have also talked about behind the scenes situations where in any event, if Rajini is also part of the event, or if Rajini's name is mentioned, he does tend to get upset about his prominence getting affected and so on. So it's like if you ever wanted a very beautiful example of a love-hate relationship, then we can say Rajini and Kamal is it. Yeah, it is. And Kamal is also known to be the way if he gets angry, the way he takes revenge is also like his movies, a bit more intellectual, a bit more nuanced, rather than other people who might just shout at the stage or just be outright about it. One good example we can see is during the Vijay's film Mersal, directed by Atli, which did quite well, but Kamal felt slighted because that script was very similar to his Aburu Sagodargal. So what Kamal did was to invite them to his office and take a still photography, looking like all of them are together, but behind, if you see the wall, there'll be a poster of Aburu Sagodargal behind their photo. So Kamal was like sending a message, you guys are copying my thing or something like that. So it was like a subtle way of doing that. And there were also stories about him being, a bit aggressive with certain female co-artists who he feels does not respect him. Again, the way he gets back at people is not like direct way, but it will be subtle, indirect way that can hurt the other person. So now the question is whether Kamal felt hurt that Rajini rejected Lokesh. Okay, a second time in fact, because the first time Kamal came in, There is a bit some karmic element there, so maybe I'll talk about that in another video. Maybe Rajini should have accepted that first proposal that came in. Probably both of them were a bit more sincere, but Rajini was not wrong to be cautious. Okay, not all people who work with Rajini have his best interest at heart. Some controversial directors like Pa Ranjit, who tried to deconstruct or break down Rajini in films like Kala, made Rajini, how to say, phobic towards him until very very recently, where Rajini's hyper diplomacy overcame his any feeling of upset that he had. Rajini is not different from any other human being. It's just that due to a lot of conscious effort and spirituality and so on, those feelings are blunted a lot, and he forgives easily, and he's been going in that direction. But the problem is that maybe he can afford to, because he's very very big. So anybody throwing stones at him or what, usually it can get deflected, right? So in this situation, the controversy with Parajit and so on happened, and also Lokesh Kanagaraj declared himself a Kamal fan and went in with his first plan was to put Rajini as a villain. Okay, so villain means, villain, right? It can become something very negative, do very evil things and make people hate you, in other words. Now Rajini has received the love of millions of people, so Lokesh's mission is to make people hate him, question mark. And even Rajini was naive enough to go along with it, but somehow that idea was dropped because maybe they was worried that will make him even bigger. So the conspiracy theory is that maybe Lokesh and Kamal wanted to bring Rajini down to size and so on, and Rajini walked into the so-called plan because he saw Lokesh Kanagaraj giving hits with Kamal, Karthi and Vijay, and thought that he will also get something nice like that. Previous Rajini directors, nobody has openly declared themselves to be a Kamal fan. And when we saw the movie Coolie also, Shruti Hassan was the one who was the central character. The theme itself was very negative about death-related machine and all. Again, we're not sure why Rajini would agree to such a morbid, negative topic. Intentionally, it was made into a adult-only film and so on. So it seemed like we are questioning Lokesh Kanagaraj. What are you trying to do? Making a film into A with limited audience, making a very negative storyline, and putting Shruti Hassan in the centerpiece and so on. So are you really trying to make a good Rajini film or something else? Question mark, right? So Rajini woke up to what's going on, and he criticized in the audio launch itself like a joke, saying that how Lokesh is not meticulous in the shooting and various things that he's not so happy with the style. And say Lokesh is the hero of the movie, in a sense, saying that anything is Lokesh's responsibility, right? And yes, the movie underperformed, and not only Rajini but people like Nagarjuna and Amir Khan also got somewhat negatively affected by that, and that also hurt Rajini because next time they will think more about doing any kind of projects with Rajini due to these kind of things, and also the reputation of Kollywood directors in general might get affected. So all these happen. However, just as saving Nelson, when Nelson was down and could have been rejected by Rajini, he saved him. So that was made Nelson's heart very happy that the hero stood by him, and that positive emotion translated into a super hit movie. Now the question is whether the intense negative emotion experienced by Lokesh Kanagaraj, whether that aura has affected this film, number one, and number two, whether Kamal himself have done some kind of funny business that caused the project to end up being so-called dropped, rather than just telling Rajini, let's not do this project if you don't want to do, you don't want Lokesh as the director. Maybe Kamal initially went along and then made some rules and regulations that Sundar C could not accept. So that seems Kamal's style. So what do you all think? Is it just a conspiracy or is it very possible? Thank you. Bye bye.